G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I've been busy with my business. Had a bit of work on lately, so I haven't been able to do any work on the cars, but I have done bits here and there, and what I've managed to do is get the back of the Sprinter painted since last time I saw you. So here she is. So fixed all the corner, repainted it, just on the back half. It's a bit dusty now. It's been sitting in the shed the last few weeks. Still need to buff it. This is next. That's going to be painted. I have to fix all this up where I've had a wing on it. I'm not putting a wing back on it again. So I'll fill these holes, and then the hatch will be repainted. The bonnet will be repainted. Just lost a bit of clear coat where I've peeled stickers off of it, and it just looks a bit ratty. There's stone chips galore on it from racing it the last couple of years, so that will be coming off. It has a new windscreen in it, which I would have mentioned in one of the previous videos, and I've got these windscreen stickers. So these are something that I might actually sell. As you can see, they're Toyota colours as well. Probably won't pick it up too well on the phone, but it's red, orange and yellow. And the other logos on it as well. So at the moment, this temporary radiator that I've got mounted in here is coming out because I finally got a new radiator for it. Yes, if anyone knows, for the 4AGEs, the outlets are on the right hand side. For the beams, they've got to be on the left hand side. That's exactly what we have here. So this is all sealed. I'm going to need a knife cut open or not? What is this? One-handed warrior. Look at that. Pull it out with one hand. One-man band. It's nice polish finish on this. What a beauty. Straight out of the box. Nice. See what things are like in there. Can't really see it. It's nice welding on these. So I've been wanting to do this for months now. I've had so many other things sort of find its way in between getting work done on the Sprinter. But she's going in now. Nice. Rightio. She's out. Now the new radiator's smaller than this, so I'm probably not going to be able to get two of these on, so I'll put one of these thermo fans on it. So there you can see the size difference. So this is actually out of an R33 Skyline, which I just acquired over time, and was originally going to mount this up because I got this dirt cheap back in the day, and obviously I was trying to build my car on an extremely tight budget. So I got this Radiator dirt cheap, and I was going to mount this up in it back in the day, but it just wasn't going to work out how it looked good anyway. So you could see it was sitting on an angle. It's the only way I could get it in. So since that radiator there got damaged, which sat nice in the car and was doing a really good job until it got front end damage, then I had to try and rig this up in there. So this fan's slightly bigger, so I'm probably going to put this fan on here, just flip it over without damaging it, and I'll put it right there on the left hand side of the radiator, and that should be sufficient. Like, the car's pretty good, it doesn't overheat. Look at that, nice alloy bung. What a great job they do. Like, for budget radiators, it looks pretty bloody good. So the other thing I'm going to do with this little beauty is all this that I made. So I made all this because the lights for these cars, AE86s, the lights in the grille, like, they're worth a fortune these days. So I made this up, just, yeah, a bit of a way to save the headlights on it. There it is. Lightweight. So there she is, all naked at the front. So you can see I've made everything, so it's just bolt on, bolt off, all pretty simple. If you're wondering why this is kind of like this, is because of the little indicator pockets on the front bar. So I wanted as much surface area on here as possible to cop an impact should it happen again, which hopefully it doesn't ever happen again. So you can see I've done it as strong as I can and as light as I can, like within reason. Like, all this stuff, all this here is all light gauge thin stuff, which was a bit of a pain to weld because you can blow a hole in it pretty easy. That doesn't really need to be there, but it's kind of like a little brace should the car cop a little bit of an impact that way. Like, I could cut this out. Like I said, it doesn't really need to be there, but it's probably a bit of overkill. But just a little bit of side impact bracing, even though that'll bend easy. But yeah, so there she is, little G5 beams 3 SGE. So that was in another video as well. Found a different alternator to put on it because the old alternator wasn't charging, doing its job. So as you can see, needs a bit of a clean up, which will all clean up good. And yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just going to tape up the throttle body so nothing goes in there. So what I'm doing now is, because I had to weld these tabs on here for the other radiator, fortunately I've got to cut them off. Rightio, so I'm just putting the thermo fan on using these cable tie kind of things. So what I noticed, they don't have any sort of foam backing or anything like that. It's just pretty much plastic straight to the radiator. So I've got these little foam pads with adhesion on one side that I'm actually going to put on them. So I've got these from your little $2 stores and stuff like that. So that'll give it a bit of protection. And what I also did with the thermo fan is I put some foam on that as well. So this, you know, it's, some people would probably hate doing this. I really don't like doing it to a new radiator, going through the fins, but it's light. It saves on making a whole shroud, because I don't have time to do that. Like, I'm doing this today on a Saturday and working for myself. I've actually got to work tomorrow, so I just have very limited time to do things on this car. So this is light, it's quick, it's easy, even though I've had to go down the road and get a couple of things. But definitely a quicker and more affordable way to go. So just sticking these little foam pads on these just to protect the radiator a bit more from, you know, vibrations and stuff like that, because it is a race car. Then you got these little things which you wouldn't want to drop on the grass or anything, because you'll never find them again. They just go on like that. Obviously tape it that way so it locks into place. What I normally do with these is I've got small pointy nose pliers like these. These are side cutters, but still. So I normally use the pointy nose pliers just to push those little clips in. So pulling on that, pushing on that. and that is firm. You see the foam that I've stuck there to protect the radiator more. Also keeps it off of it. So that's on there pretty good. Doing it up a little bit tighter, which is good. Sometimes you do have to push that clip in a little bit more. What I'm going to do is what I reckon is the only way to do this, because like I said, the original tabs for the radiator were cut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of alloy flat bar, about 4 or 5 mil thick, and I'm going to bolt it. So you see the bottom of the radiator that steps up there, so I'm going to have the piece of flat bar come out to around here. It's kind of, so come out to pretty much the outer edge of the radius rod mount there, all the way over to the outside here, because you can see the radiator sort of angles up there. Then I'm going to bolt it through there, which would be fine. So just one bolt at either end. So I'm going to get a piece of flat bar that's wide enough, so I'm probably going to get a piece maybe 80 mil to 100 mil wide, and I'm actually going to scribe it around to come back in here so it picks up these as well, so I can put an M6 bolt in there and in here. Now I don't have anything like that, so I'm going to have to go to the alloy shop during the week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, get a piece so I can put it in there, scribe it out around there, and then just drill 2 holes for the studs for the radiator to sit in, because that's the only way I'm going to get this radiator to sit down as low as it can to line up those 2 spouts. And I probably should have got this radiator from day one, but you know, when you build cars on a bit of a budget, a tight budget, then that's how it is. But anyway, so that's where we're at. So back to the drawing board. So that'll be the quickest and easiest way. If I had a piece of flat bar in all the stuff I've got down here, this is my little inventory. That's the back panel for the Sprinter, the bulkhead. So on all the stuff I've got here, you can see I've done a couple of different versions of angles to mount that radiator, but just couldn't get it low enough. I would have really had to do a real tight S-bend to link the 2 spouts together, which was just not going to happen. I can't even think of a car that'd have a radiator hose like that. So it is what it is. These are the joys of cars. So it's another day job at the moment, so we'll do it another day. G'day, welcome to another day of working on the Sprinter, trying to get this radiator mounted. So today's a weekday, but because of the rain, which you can hear on the shed, can't work. So what I decided to do was try and work on the Sprinter, get this radiator done. But because it's raining, it also makes it a bit difficult because I can't push the car out the backyard, so I've got enough room to work in the shed. So very limited space, but I have pushed it back enough so I can work in here. Now if you're wondering why I don't have any radiator mounts or standard mounts that were one was there and the other was there. If you're wondering why I don't have that, is because I actually removed them. So yes, I'm kind of spewing I did that in a way, but still would probably have to remove them because the radiator spout and the spout on the engine wouldn't have lined up. It would have needed a serious S-bend to join them, and there's just not enough room. So this is what I've come up with. So I might take these little corners out here, but yeah, I think I'll have to take that corner out there, obviously, because that rises up there, you can see. So I'll take this corner out here so this plate can either sit flat, level, or down a bit at the back and up a bit at the front. Now the reason for that is because I've got to lay the radiator back a little, so it's got to go back this way a little, and that is to clearance the top bar here. So that's the plan. Seems a bit more simpler, and we're going to go with that. Rightio, just drilled the holes for the bolts. So now I can get an idea on how much I need to take out of this corner, which I'm going to do little bits at a time. So do a little, it's pretty close to 45 degrees, so I'll do a 45 from there. Same there. So I need to take a little bit more out of that, and then get some longer bolts. I've got a box full of bolts. I should have something close to that. If not, looks like I'll be going for a drive down to the parts supply store and getting some more new bolts for this car. And I can't tell you how much money I've spent on new bolts for this car in the build of it. It's crazy. It's all those little 1%ers, I guess you'd say. It's like the old saying. It's also, I found out was true, the final 20% of the build of this car probably took 80% of the time, because it's all the little things that just add up and add up. I actually called it death by 1,000 paper cuts when I was in the final stages of building this car. So anyway, I'll see if I've got some bolts and get it done. Rightio, as per usual, I have a box of bolts, which is literally probably $1,000 or more worth of bolts and washers and all sorts of little things here and there that I've accumulated over the last few years. It would literally be over $1,000 worth of stuff in there. But as per usual, the bolts that I need, I don't have. So I'm on my way down to parts supply store because they have some flanged head bolts which look better than your normal sort of just standard hex head bolts. So they're all the ones that I try and use. So wherever I can use a flanged head bolt, I will, just because 100% they look better. And everyone's out today. And that's what I'm trying to get. So this one place around actually has them. So I've been to the the local bolt shop, I normally get all like washers and specialised washers and stuff like that, all different sizes and stuff like that I need. I get from the bolt shop, but the bolt shop actually doesn't have these flanged head bolts, which is surprising. Here we go. We got an ambulance down the road heading this way. This one place that I go to, which I also have a trade card for, which helps out on pricing, actually has these flanged head bolts. They're a nice gold zinc coating on them as well. So what I had was 25mm long. What I need, I reckon, probably 35 might be long enough. I don't want anything too long. But the tank of the radiator is not going to hit it. But it's just, I don't want to have to cut the bolt. So yeah, the ambulance is coming this way still, and I'm just pulling over the side of the road. Hopefully wherever they're going is not too serious, because I've been in the back of them many times, unfortunately. But yeah, so while I'm down the road, I get myself some lunch as well from the bakery just down here, and then we'll head home and get this radiator finally mounted. See you soon. Back from the bolt shop. As you can see, I've replaced the bolts, drilled the holes, cleaned it up, got washers underneath them. That fits in beautifully like that. And we got flanged castellated nuts. Now, no, I'm not going to put washers under them, because the idea of that is to stop the nut from loosening. So once this is all in and nice and tight, it shouldn't loosen. Yeah, so that's sitting down, the rubber cushions I got on those studs. That's how the radiator sits. So and then that ends up, it's not going to be hard into it, but just so you can see, it's all nicely parallel and lines up with the spout. The other one just needs a couple of angles on it. Rightio, so here's a piece I prepared earlier, just a bit of an offcut. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting two nut certs under here, riv nuts, whatever you want to call them, attaching that there, then bringing this forward where it's going to be nice and no rubbing on that brace, and then I'll put a nut cert in there, I reckon, and bolt that down on there. Rightio, so these are the riv nuts I got. Now I've seen other ones that have got a completely different way of doing it. Like they're kind of like little bolt cutters, how they've got this piece here and then two handles that you bring together. They look like better ones, but these are the ones I've got. I've had these for a few years. You just need a bit more strength to squeeze them together, like riveters. So I've already drilled the holes. So I've got tape on there to mark where these grooves are on the radiator. And yeah, we'll see if we got the holes the right size. See if I can get this camera and mount it in some sort of way. Audio. This is the fun bit. See, this is how you undo these ones. They're not the best, but they work. There we go. Bit of a pain in the ass. Wonder what the other ones are like. Whether they're 100% better. If they are, you can tell me in the comments. Radio, 14,000 hours later, the rib nuts are in. Takes 2 seconds to put them in and about an hour to get the freaking thing out. So here's what I'm doing at the moment. So just put these in. So I haven't done a dummy fit off camera yet. This is all live action. If it's in the wrong spot, I stuffed up. But if it's right, then look out. So one goes there. So that bolt, it all clears. It's all good. Found my 10mm ratchet spanner. This one likes to go for a walkabout. So most people have 10mm sockets that go for a walkabout. I have 10mm ratchet spanners that like to go for walkabouts. I've only got two. I've got that one and a shorter one. And they take it in turns to go for a wander. Or as we say here in Australia, walkabout. Here's a little tape trick. Let's use that as a guide, I reckon, right. So these are the alloy ones. As you can see, the only grip they've got is in the top there. So I've used these on a couple other things and they actually didn't hold too well. Whereas these, you can see they've got grooves around there. These seem to work better. Whether the Oh yeah, no, it should get it. I reckon that'll be right. I reckon I can do what I'm trying to do. Let's get into it. I've got this bit of steel that I've just cut up, and I'm just going to fit in there. So that way, if it goes into there, it's not going to go into that steel too quick. And save my brand new radiator from being punctured. UT. So here we go with this idea. Hopefully it works. Is that actually, no, we going out. Rightio, it's in there, mounted up. Thermo fans connected. Used a finish flap. They're like a scour on a flap disc. There's coarse and fine. I use the coarse just to make it look a bit brushed. Looks a lot better than it did. Radio, so hose is on, the bottom hose on. Had to do a join because I'm using silicone hoses. Fortunately, I'm going to have to get a little bit of a sort of S-bend or dog's leg kind of piece. This is just not long enough. It is long enough to put water in it and run it up, which is what I have been waiting for months. Rightio, so I've just put the filter back on. It is very close. There we go. I'll just grab the torch. So you can see it's just off the radiator and just touching that corner there, which is, yeah, it's a better view, which is not going to affect it in any way. So it's all snug as a bug on a rug and looking better. Yes, I will get another overflow line, which I'll probably turn around and run across here and then back to there. I might have some. I'll have a look a bit later, but the moment I've all been waiting for, to get this radiator in, done, get some coolant in it and run it up. The car hasn't been started for a few months now. Oh yeah. So just squeezing the bottom hose. I don't actually have the thermostat in it. So just squeezing the bottom hose, getting some air out of it. Should be good now. It's stone cold. Hasn't been started for a couple of months, so we'll give it a go. that has not been started for months. That weird little sound, sussed out what that was one day. It's my fire extinguisher. As soon as I put my hand on that, that funny little buzzing sound went away. So I've got my quiet muffler on it at the moment, which probably anyway, issues all done. The battery's running low in the camera, so I'll end it here. She's all done. Now I can take it to shows. I'm going to put the headlights and grille back in it. Nice. It's coming up to temperature good. See, purring like a kitten. Absolutely fantastic motors, these. I cannot speak highly enough about these little Beam 3 SGEs. So yeah, so I'll get the lights back in it. I really don't like this standard bar because it's damaged and pretty ratty. I will get around to fixing the racing front bar, the splitter that I made for it, and get that back on it. But once I get the lights on it, I'll give it a bit of a clean up. I need to find time to polish it when the weather clears up. Make it look pretty, and I'll try and get it out to some shows and get some footage of it at the shows. I've got to get the rear bar repainted as well, which I've got sitting over next to the Supra. So yeah, she's getting there. And if I get it out to the show, I'll put the mesh wheels on it too, instead of these, which are just my wet tyres / garage sitting wheels, and make it look pretty once again. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you next time. Hopefully at a show with the Sprinter. Looking all pretty again. Cheers.